You wake up one morning in a room that feels perfectly familiar. The bed is made. Your phone glows with notifications. The scent of coffee drifts from the kitchen. Everything is in its place, yet something feels off. Not broken, just hollow. You scroll, you reply, you commute, you smile when expected. You chase numbers, likes, salaries, upgrades. But somewhere deep inside, beneath the noise, something ancient whispers. Is this it? You've never had more freedom, yet every choice feels scripted. You've never been more informed, yet your thoughts feel fragmented. You've achieved, advanced, arrived. And yet, something sacred has gone missing. A flicker, a hum, a soul. You weren't meant to live like this. Not you, not anyone. But here you are, ticking boxes, counting steps, performing aliveness. How did comfort become confinement? How did progress become paralysis? What if everything you were taught to pursue is what's quietly killing you? The soul doesn't die with a scream. It fades with a whisper. And modern life? It's the perfect assassin. You weren't born to chase dopamine pings on a glass screen. You weren't meant to sit under flickering fluorescent lights, drained by meetings, emails, and deadlines that mean nothing to your deeper self. But that's the architecture now. Systems built not for fulfillment, but for function. Carl Jung warned of this. When a society cuts the individual from their inner life, when it replaces meaning with measurement, the result is neurosis, spiritual disorientation, a slow, soul-deep death. Not of the body, but of the essence. You live in a world that idolizes efficiency and calls it evolution. That labels boredom a defect instead of an invitation to wonder. That amputates solitude and sells constant stimulation as connection. Friedrich Nietzsche spoke of the last man, the one who seeks only comfort, avoids all danger, and lives without purpose. He survives, but never truly lives. Jean-Paul Sartre called it bad faith, when we lie to ourselves to stay safe within the script society hands us. You wear masks, not to deceive others, but to keep yourself from facing the existential terror of freedom. Why? Because real freedom demands responsibility, depth, discomfort. And we've been trained by screens, by schools, even our parents, to avoid those at all costs. You weren't born empty. You were emptied. Bit by bit, the rituals, the myths, the silence, the struggle. The soul food of humanity were stripped away, replaced by productivity apps, 5-year plans, and synthetic dreams. You are not malfunctioning. You are reacting perfectly to a society designed to make you forget who you are. You feel it in quiet moments, like a static hum behind your eyes. A vague, persistent ache. Not pain, absence. You check your phone while waiting in line, not because you're busy, but because you've forgotten how to be. You've been conditioned by culture, by algorithms, by a world obsessed with speed to fear stillness. Because in stillness, the soul speaks. And modern life can't allow that. Think about it. When was the last time you sat in silence and didn't reach for a device? When did rest stop being recovery and become guilt? The consequence of this hyper-stimulated, hyper-structured life isn't just burnout. It's existential erosion. Neurologically, your brain is being rewired to seek instant gratification. Dopamine loops keep you hooked, while your capacity for deep focus and contemplation atrophies. You become a stranger to your own thoughts. Psychologically, you drift. You mistake comfort for peace. You confuse productivity for purpose. You seek approval instead of alignment. Slowly, subtly, your life becomes a performance for a phantom audience. Spiritually, it's even darker. Viktor Frankl wrote that when life lacks meaning, suffering becomes unbearable. Without a why, the how becomes prison. And today, meaning has been outsourced to status symbols and filtered lifestyles that promise happiness but deliver only comparison. The world teaches you to trade wonder for wealth, curiosity for credentials, presence for progress. And when you finally look up decades later, you realize you've built a life that looks successful, but feels suffocating. You may function, you may smile, you may even thrive by the world's standards, but deep down, you feel it. You are not living, you are maintaining. And the tragedy? You think it's your fault. It's not. You are a soul stitched with ancient wisdom, born into a world that no longer speaks its language. And unless you rebel, unless you remember, this slow death will feel normal. This is your call to war? Not with others, but with illusions. You break free not by running away, but by waking up. Begin here. Question everything that feels normal. Comfort is not your friend if it dulls your edge. Convenience is not freedom if it costs you presence. And success is not sacred if it silences your soul. The rebellion starts in your rituals. Wake before the world does. Sit in silence. Let boredom detox your overstimulated mind. Let your thoughts stretch and breathe. Write not to post, but to remember. Move not to sculpt your body, but to reconnect with it. Create something useless, something beautiful, something wild. Burn your metrics. Abandon performance. Speak truth even when your voice trembles. Be weird. Be slow. Be human. Reclaim your autonomy from the machine. Unplug, unfollow, unlearn. Then go deeper into books that challenge you, ideas that disturb you, relationships that require work, not just emojis. Find a mentor who values meaning over metrics. Study thinkers who wrote with blood. Read Rumi. Meditate with Marcus Aurelius. Challenge yourself like Camus. Understand this. You don't have to escape the system. You are the system. And by changing your relationship with it, you infect it with soul. Live deliberately. Buy less. Sit longer. Ask better questions. Love people, not personas. Laugh like a heretic. And remember, every moment you choose depth over distraction, you reclaim a piece of your soul. Here is the truth that shatters everything. Your soul was never lost. It was buried. Under expectation, under noise, under layers of identity you thought were necessary to be loved, to be seen, to survive. But underneath the scaffolding of modern life, there you are. Ancient, intact, radiant. You don't need to become anything. You need to return to the child who once stared at clouds and asked impossible questions. To the seeker who didn't care about being impressive, only about being alive. The world will not hand this back to you. It profits from your numbness. It feeds on your forgetfulness. But every breath is a doorway. Every quiet moment, a crack in the armor. Every time you say no to distraction, you say yes to resurrection. Let go of the chase. Stop performing. Strip it all down until you hear the whisper. You were never meant to survive this world. You were meant to change it. So choose discomfort. Choose silence. Choose awe. Because the soul doesn't thrive in safety. It thrives in sincerity. And when you finally begin living from that place, from the core of who you are, something miraculous happens. The world around you begins to change. You speak with power. You love with fire. You walk into rooms and alter the air. Not because you're perfect, but because you're real. And in a world of sleepwalkers, the awakened are dangerous. Now pause. Look at your life with unflinching eyes. Ask the dangerous questions. And listen, not with your ears, but with your soul. Because this is not the end. It's your beginning.